Hello everybody, it's Pepper Wolverine again. We're here for another edition of Pepper Wolverine Review. And today we got something special that I just got in the mail today from a gentleman that I'm friends with on the Google Plus community, Pepper Lovers community, a Mr. Alex Casillas. Him and I have known each other for the better part of, I don't know, maybe one growing season, and we're acquaintances prior to that, and we've done a little bit of a sharing amongst ourselves. And he sent me a box of pods, and inside that box of pods was a big bloody riot. He was interested in an opinion on this one, and which I have not had. I've had a couple of the other chili riot peppers, but I have not had this one. The Big Bloody Riot is a something crossed with the Black Panther that Chili Riots has, which is a Nade Boot Jalokia cross. That one apparently, from the information I could find, should have been around the F3 or F4 at the time they used to cross this, and this one is supposed to be it should have been about F3, F4, but now it's been grown out once or twice here domestically, I think. But Alex could have gotten his seeds directly. But I know there's a couple Pepper Lovers community members with some of these peppers that have been shared, so looks pretty true to form in terms of the shape and the texture. It's extremely wrinkled, bumpy, wrinkled. Nice looking pepper for sure. So this is the Big Bloody Riot sent to me from Alex Casillas. It originated with Chili Riots. It's a pepper cross of that company. Fruity floral. Not a whole lot of oils on the knife, but that doesn't mean anything. Definitely has a little bit of the kind of the boot jalokia internal characteristics, and those characteristics are a little bit more of an elongated placental tissue running down with the seed base. It is a little bit centralized, but then it runs down coming down the placental veins, like a lot of boot jalokias tend to do. Definitely a little bit of internal glistening up here towards the base on the walls. Actually a little bit running down the whole length of that wall. Just shine that sunlight off of it like that and you can actually see it glistening. So this is the Big Bloody Riot. Relatively floral aroma. There's some sweet notes in there, but pretty floral. Big Riot. Big Bloody Riot. What the heck? Alex has nice penmanship. I can't write that well with letters that small, that's for sure. As I'm chomping through it and getting through the seeds, a good amount of bitterness just through the seeds though. And as I swallowed that first bite, some immediate heat kicked in, that's for sure. Fruity floral on the forefront, on the nose of the pepper. The heat's definitely kicking in the back of the mouth. You can definitely taste a little bit of that Boot Jolokia in there. The Nade, I've never had a straight Nade. I've only had Nade crosses. That seem to be a pretty popular plant for crossing due to the dark foliage associated with it. A lot of people like that. I don't know what a pure Nade tastes like. So definitely the Boot Jolokia flavor going on in there. I wasn't going to save any seeds, but didn't chew through that one, so I'll keep that one. Might want to grow this one out. I like growing out other people's peppers, even if it crossed with something. I know what it started with, so I have at least know what half the genetics are. Relatively intense mouth, overall mouth burn starting to kick in. Maybe because of the way I swallowed the pepper. It's very centralized in the back of the mouth, upper esophagus, that's for sure. Starting to work its way around. A little bit of floral nature going on in the mouth, but there's a fruity flavor with it. Not intensely fruity, but definitely has some fruity flavor in it. Reminds me of a really over the top ghost flavor, but with quite a bit more kick to it in the burn sensation. The burn sensation is relatively intense. Making my nose want to run a little bit. That could just be the temperature. It's actually pretty cold out here today in where I live in Illinois. I think the high today was 43. The sun's going down, so it's probably closer to 40 right now. Nice burn to it. It worked its way down and hit the stomach and just went off like a tiny atomic bomb. You can feel it permeating the entire stomach, going out from there. Now it's overwhelmed the entire tongue, side to side, full width of the tongue. Salivation factor is probably like a 2.5 on a salivation scale of 5. Definitely making me salivate, bringing out some of the fruitiness that this triplex cross has to offer, since it's a Nade Boot Jolokia crossed with something else that wasn't made public, at least on their website, for chili riots. So some of you pepper aficionados out there might know what the third part of it is. And that third part of it, it's got to be something pretty hot. Based upon the pictures I saw on the website, I'm thinking something scorpion or reaperish, or 7-pot Primeaux-ish, given the tailed nature to it, or the extension projection. Wasn't wide enough or plump enough or round enough or with defined lobes for it to be a 7-pot, I don't think, at least from most of the 7-pots I'm familiar with. But yeah, the Dougal and a couple others, I guess, don't fit that. So it has kind of like that searing, piercing heat of some of the upper end 7-pots, though. It reminds me a little bit of the 7-pot Lucy that that I received, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, and tried. That one had a searing, piercing, intense heat to it. This one has gotten to that point where it's a really piercing and intense heat. Not for everybody, that's for sure, because it's up there. In my non-scientific personal pepper Wolverine scale, it's up there at a definite 9. 8 3/4, 9, 9 1/4. If you want to get nitpicky about it, but no, it's a 9. It's pretty darn good. Uh-oh, left a little bit of red there. Sorry. Gone now. Big Bloody Riot. Big Bloody Riot leaves a pleasant aftertaste, after flavor, but it is a intense enough burn that it makes it a little bit difficult to decipher. But as with a lot of peppers, when you get to a certain Scoville heat level, whatnot, it's hard to be extremely precise as to what you're tasting, or at least for me, because this is definitely having an effect on the taste buds. Pretty darn good pepper. Nice heat, real nice heat, real hot at that, for that matter. Makes you salivate quite a bit. Brings out the fruity floral tones, and the floral tones aren't perfumey, so it's not overwhelming to the point where if you're not a floral fan of floralness in a pepper, this one would be okay though. It's not overwhelming. I'm not a huge fan of floral, but you know, in some pepper varieties, you just gotta, it kind of just goes with the territory. So you gotta brave it, get past it, see what else it has to offer. And there's some fruitiness on the back side of it. If I really concentrate on the flavor produced from the salivation, there is a sweetness to it, a really enjoyable sweetness to it. But it's interesting, I can only get that way up here on the lips. The rest of the mouth is scorched, so. Alex, this is a great pepper. You'd asked me how I might compare this to the Death Spiral. I don't know, I grew out 3 Death Spiral plants. One of them I only pulled 2 peppers off of because it was mite infested. The other 2, one of them I pulled a decent amount of peppers off of, maybe not a lot. None of them, I didn't get a lot of peppers off of any of my plants. I might have pulled across the full season maybe 40 or 50 off of that one. Some really nice phenos. A little bit different than a lot of the ones I've seen posted. Mine had more of a bent crook at the bottom on the, excuse me, projection slash tail. And mine were hot. My Death Spirals for sure were hot, but they were so floral as a fresh pepper. For eating, I didn't enjoy it that much. They were hot. This particular Big Bloody Riot's hotter than the Death Spirals that I grew out. But my growing season was not that good, so it might not be fair for me to compare this Bloody Riot you grew out with a Death Spiral that I grew out that I wasn't even very happy with. That's why I didn't share those or anything else with anybody. This is a really good pepper, pretty hot, mostly noted on the tongue, upper esophagus. I do feel it in the stomach a little bit. Like I said, it set off a little atom bomb, but that subsided quick. I thought it was going to really pose some issues, make me burp quite a bit or do something, but it didn't. Heat's plateaued, so good. It looks like a good 10-minute burn. A good 3 to 4 minutes of intense burning. Now it's plateaued and starting to fizzle and fade and go away a little bit. But hey, Alex, this is a great pepper. these couple seeds that dropped out of it. I'm going to save those and probably grow this one out. It's good enough flavor that I'll grow it out, because if I want heat, I got plenty of selections for heat, but I need heat with the flavor, and I like the after flavor that's left in my mouth with this one. So thank you very much for sharing, and it's been another Pepper Wolverine review of the Big Bloody Riot, sent to me by a friend of mine, Alex Casillas, a friend of mine from Google Plus's Pepper Lovers community. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and we'll do it again soon. Thank you very much. Have a good one.